evening, Islandish family. You guys are tuned into the podcast, episode 36, where we have with us the lovely, the talented, the always pleasant to be around, my beautiful soror, Whitney Armbrister. How you doing? Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. She is the president of the Grand Bahama Volleyball Association, and it is a pleasure to have her here. We know you got interviewed right here on the Superior Talk Network last night with Off the Bench with Mix and Kat. But today we're going to talk more on women in sports side of it. Love them to death, but they ain't no woman. They know how to deep dive into this type of conversation. So that's what we're going to talk about. So let's talk about you, Whitney Armbrister, the person. What's it like being in volleyball and how you even got into volleyball?
Oh, me, the person. I'm
Yes.
very laid back, like to stay to myself. Now, of course, if you engage me, I would engage you, but I just like to be comfortable and be in the backgrounds and the sidelines. But as it relates to volleyball, you know, both my parents played, so definitely couldn't run from it.
Okay, so what was your first introduction to volleyball? You played volleyball through high school, and what other accolades in volleyball have you achieved over the years?
Well, to be honest, I think my first toy possibly would have been a volleyball.
Volleyball.
I grew up in the gym, was always running up and down, upset because they wouldn't let me play as a little tot. We did Xanadu Beach every weekend, up to Tino Beach, Moon, McPhee Park. I would have represented the country on the junior scene. I did about 4 junior national teams and 2 senior national teams. I also did high school softball, soccer. But once I got to college, I did softball, track and field. I was a high jumper. It's hard to believe I actually jumped 6'2" for my height.
Okay, get up.
5'5" and 3/4. But yeah, so softball, track and field, and volleyball. So that's what I did in college.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And which uniform is this you're wearing? Because we got a comment on the fit. It's looking real nice, very patriotic. So tell me about how you were able to get this beautiful uniform and the role you played.
Well, this uniform is compliments of the women's national team.
Okay.
So this summer, I was asked to be the assistant coach. So I was very excited. That tournament was in New Providence.
Yes.
And it was just amazing. It was an honor and a privilege just to even be considered. And being a former player, you know, I really appreciate it. And, you know, like someone said, it speaks to the work that we're doing here in Grand Bahama, not only through the association, but for the juniors as well. So I was very excited to be called on to fulfill that leadership role.
Okay, and you're also a teacher as well, right?
Yes,
Okay, so
ma'am.
what subject do you teach and what do you teach? And what grades or what ages?
So currently, I teach 4th grade to 9th grade. I do health and general science. That's to junior school, 7 through 9. And then I do physical education from 4th grade to 9th. So I don't want to put my age out there like that, but I've been teaching almost 20 years.
Okay.
17, actually.
Okay.
It took a little 2-year hiatus, but I'm back.
I love that. So we're going to talk a lot about education and sports and what it's like being a female PE teacher. Because a lot of persons, it's a lot of women who are teachers, but you usually see the men who lean towards being the PE teachers. So what's it like teaching this generation of young people when it comes to sports?
Well, it is definitely different than it was when we were growing up, but the thirst and the hunger is there. I love it. Like I said, it would have taken like 2.5 years off from teaching. And it was one of those situations where the Lord had to hold me by my neck and say, didn't I tell you what you're supposed to be doing? Because I always said, I'm not going back to teaching. And every time my dad introduced me, he'd be like, oh, this is my daughter. She's a teacher. And I'm like, Daddy, I'm not teaching. And, you know, I was so hard on that. But sometimes you just have to listen and follow.
Yeah.
So that really helped. And I think that propelled and opened a lot of doors for me. But honestly, I love it. My degree is actually in biology. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Okay.
So from biologist to preferred being on the field and out there, you know, everybody has their niche, and that's just mine. But the students, they're always hungry. They're willing to learn. I'm currently at Wilbur S. Elton Christian Academy, and the school is small. And I have a great appreciation for that because now it gives you more time to work on individual skills and development.
Okay, that's great and that's amazing. So, in your role as a teacher, how was that able to help you with being an assistant coach for the national team?
Well, pretty much just being measured, by my work. The
Okay.
same attitude I have on the field, whether I'm playing or coaching, is the very same attitude in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have a legitimate team behind you, shout out to the Grandmama Volleyball Association, we were able to set certain things in place. And I
Mm-hmm.
honestly feel that that was that extra nudge to open a door for all of the great opportunities that I am currently walking in.
And speaking of great opportunities, what was it like? Because I know you kind of mentioned it was a surprise, but what was it like finding out that you, of all the people in our country, is selected to be the assistant coach for the national team this summer? Because that was broadcast all over the place. Big ups to your sister boxer. She kept me in
Hmm.
tune every step of the way on her social media. But what was it like being chosen for that opportunity, and what were you able to experience for the first time being the coach or assistant coach?
Well, it was amazing
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's the first time we had a female that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, I was assistant to Mr. Ronaldo Knowles, who was also a Grand Bahamian.
You're
So you
right.
had two Grand Bahamian coaches.
Yeah.
And again, going back to the youth, we had our youngest player was 17.
Nice.
So the age range from 17 to 31.
Okay.
And that was my sister. She turned 31 during the tournament.
Right, correct.
So you had seasoned players like her, Rachel, Mama Vanessa Sawyer, who would have played before. So it was just refreshing. It was a nice balance, but just the experience of persons who you would have played with before, who you would
Right.
have mentored, and then to see where they were back then to where they were now was just amazing. And just having that privilege not only to play with my sister,
Right.
but to coach her as well.
Yeah.
So it was just mixed feelings, to be honest.
Okay.
It was coming from every angle and every sense of the way.
Yeah, it was like family, but then big occasion for Grand Bahama, big opportunity for you. I'm so happy you were able to experience that, and congratulations again.
Thank
I know
you.
more doors like that are going to open for you in the future. So now I'm really wanting to really dive into women in leadership when it comes to sports. So, because you mentioned, were you the first woman to be in that assistant role?
As far as I know.
Okay. That's awesome to me, because I know a lot of times when it comes to women in leadership, persons are a little bit apprehensive about it. And even with you being the leader of, or the president of the Volleyball Association, what things do you or have you implemented in your role with the Volleyball Association?
Well, pretty much just staying hard on being passionate, dedicated,
Mm-hmm.
and committed.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it isn't me solely.
Okay.
We started a tournament, the Battle of the Islands, and that grew from 5 teams to Labor Day holiday last year to 13 teams.
Love it.
Which
love
included Bimini,
Mm-hmm.
which included 85 to 90% of the athletes that came over and represented, they were all under the age of 21.
it. Love that.
So that speaks volumes for the potential of volleyball in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to make sure, we don't drop the ball and we can harness all of the skills and productivity, because I'm not going to be in this seat forever.
Right.
So we need to do what is necessary. And once we impart on these kids, we could now sit and relax and watch them take over, and they could build on the foundation that we are now trying to lay.
I love that. And then my other question as it relates to that, because I do see a lot of volleyball activity amongst the high school, what they call that, intramural sports?
It's the high school league, and that's currently going on now.
Right. Bingo. That's probably why I've been seeing a lot of it. It's going on right now. So what is there available for maybe adults or persons who aren't in high school who do want to be involved in volleyball in our community?
Well, we play every weekend.
Okay.
Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays at Tino Beach. So we start about 4:30 in the afternoon because the sun is very hot out
Yes,
there.
blazing. Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
So we normally play until dark fall. This is that time of year when you have to fight off the mosquitoes, but it isn't the pros are out. Anybody who wants to come and play, you just come out. Sometimes we would have the open gym once it's available, once we have a group of persons. So the community is here, it's back, and it's thriving. We would literally just book the gym,
Right.
Everybody would bring a little $3, $5 based on how many persons are there. You put that in the pot and we just
Do a
play.
thing. I love that. I love that. I love the idea of it don't have to be all right. We pay in a registration and we compete and everybody getting a trophy. The whole point of it is to get out and be consistent in the sport, especially if you love it. So I love how it's just like, come on, come chip in. We doing a thing. Come on in. So if someone wants to get in contact with the Volleyball Association, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they could contact myself. They could check us on our Facebook or Instagram page. Any of the board members, anyone that you know that is affiliated with volleyball, they can assist you.
One phone call away. I love that. So with you being a woman and being, because this is a big thing for me, I don't know why. A lot of times, especially when I see sports like basketball, baseball, I see a lot of men taking the lead roles in that. But seeing a woman now, like yourself, who I know personally, like that, have such a big role when it comes to volleyball. I want you to talk about some of the challenges you all have with the sport of volleyball and it being recognized on par with something like track or basketball.
Honestly, I think it starts with the federation governance, how things are carried out. And you would have referenced part of it with the previous interview.
Yeah.
Minus the people in your own country you have to set the standard. You have to be an example.
Right.
Sometimes you have to be that change that you want to see. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, the likelihood of you even being on par with like a track and field or swimming is going to be non-existent.
Got you.
Because you could say, hey, this is my brand, this is my product. But if you're not producing, it makes it that much more easier. I can ask you for a sponsor for this year. But if I'm not saying, well, hey, this is what we did, a newsletter, a plaque, a certificate, or you can see, hey, this is the photo, this is the team, we participated, we didn't win or whatever. Like, you need to have that level of paper trail so people can see,
like
what they're investing in.
Yeah, like where my money gone type of thing. Got you.
Yes, win, lose, or draw.
And I like that because a lot of times you don't hear like organizations, associations take accountability for things like that. But you are very correct. Sponsors sometimes do want to see like, okay, where my money gone? You calling me again for more money the following year, but you ain't get back for me to see how it went. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and then we come back. We're going to dive into this beautiful book you see right in front of you, written by the lovely Whitney Armbrister.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason.
And I'm Cheryl. Join us here on Superior Talk Bahamas YouTube channel every Tuesday at 6 for Let's Talk,
where we talk about issues that matter to you. We try to come up with workable, practical solutions so we have more action and less talk.
See you on Tuesday.
Okay, so we are here with the president of the Volleyball Association, the lovely Whitney Armbrister, and we're going to dive into her amazing book that she has written. So what is the name of the book? What is it about? Start off with that, then we can dive in a little bit more.
Okay, so the name of the book is, yes, it's a sport, but it's also a business. And it is a manual/guide. So it talks about sports management and the business aspect of it.
Okay.
Because in a lot of these federations/associations or anything dealing with sports, persons really feel like, okay, well, we just have a league and we have a tournament and that's it. Nobody really considers the magnitude of federation, association, and what that entails as it relates to the business side of it. So this is just a guide, self-help, and just put some things in perspective as it relates to, do you have policies and procedures? Are you following them? Do you have your constitution? Is that a part of your day-to-day and what you're doing? And just outright maintenance to ensure that you can continue the legacy of what's going on in your organization.
What inspired you to write the book?
Honestly, I think it's just being in different leadership roles.
Okay.
And it's not only for sports. The book gives you things that happens in everyday life. So even if you're looking at basics in overqualified versus threatened, because that's one of the chapters.
Okay.
It speaks and dives into the harsh realities of, we have a lot of Bahamians going off to school. You would like to be on air, you would like to be a part of this sporting organization, whatever it is, and when you come back, there's resistance. We're not always welcome. Sometimes it's, and this isn't in every case, but some persons are threatened. Oh, you look like you came to take over, when that's really not the case.
Right.
You're passionate about what you're doing, just like
Right.
how I'm passionate about what I'm doing. So I'm here, I'm willing to learn, I'm ready to work. But sometimes that's not always accepted or received
Correctly. I understand, and I like that you said that a lot of times persons take, especially when it's a new face and a fresh face, be like, child, where you come from, trying to come in and tell us how to do things around here. So I understand that. You talked about what inspired you to write the book, and you also mentioned some things persons are going to learn about the book. But where will the book be available for purchase? How can people get a copy of it? And then we're going to get into your potential book signing you're going to have sometime in November.
Correct. So the books will be available at the bookstores on Island. But today's date, you can actually purchase an e-copy.
Okay.
So the book is $12.95 for the hard copy, and the e-copies are $9.99. So you could purchase it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, and from the Google Play Store.
Love it.
Yeah.
You all over the platforms. That's it, girl. Get to this coin. And so how are you able to go about dealing with publishing and things like that? I know some persons who write, they have a hard time finding that. So what was your source, if you don't mind mentioning that?
So I did some personal research myself.
Okay.
I asked someone that I know on the island, Sean. Shout out to Sean. He's a playwright.
Right.
And, he kind of steered me in that direction, and he gave me a list of publishing companies, and I just went through, and Christian Faith Publishing just stood out to me.
Okay.
I love the package that they provided. So they did the press release, they did the editing. I told them what I wanted the cover to look like, and they made that happen. So I'm very pleased, and it's easier for me because a lot of persons say, well, you could publish your book yourself and you could edit, and for me, that's too much work. I have a lot of stuff going on. And then the beauty of it is, they don't charge me anything outside of what I pay until I get all of my funds back.
Right.
So, I thought that was a grand slam.
Love that. And I like that how you mentioned that, because the main job you had was to write it. Look, I didn't write it. Let me find someone else who know what they're doing with publishing to get it out there. And that's really smart, and that was a great avenue. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Writing a book is a big feat. A lot of persons cannot say they're an author. Now you can put that on your resume, girl. It'll go taps for that, taps for that, taps for that. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about the youth and the young people as it relates to volleyball. What are some of the talents you're seeing coming out of the young people you're either working with directly, or some of them you saw while you were in New Providence?
The talent is crazy. Like I would have referenced before, at the Battle of the Islands, I was able to see Abaco at its best. I was able to see Grand Bahama at its best. Abaco entered 2 teams that were 99% juniors.
Wow.
And they did exceptionally well. The Grand Bahama team, I think we only had 4 adults. Everybody else were junior players. And we have the potential currently today, say in Grand Bahama, of possibly 2. Well, in my opinion, they're shoo-in for junior national teams.
Love
but
it.
could possibly make it on the pro circuit.
Love it.
So one of them, he would have gone over 2.5 months or so, somewhere around there, and he actually practiced with the national team. So if you come out to the high school games and watch him play, you wouldn't even have to ask who it is, because the level is just that different. We have a lot of our kids, they play with Bishop Michael Allen School.
Right,
So you can literally look at persons and see who's put that time in, and their skills have developed. Every time we have an open gym, these kids are there. When we go to Tino Beach, Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, these kids are there, and it shows in the level of play. So the future, like I said, is very bright. We just need to make sure we can harness that and put the Bahamas where it should be on the map for volleyball.
Great. So what are some of the things needed to help to take volleyball to the next level for Grand Bahama specifically, in your opinion?
I would say just empowering the association when it comes to proper certification. Level 1, 2, 3 coaches certification. Because we can only go so far.
Right.
So we need to have the certification so we could know what are they doing in the other Caribbean countries? What are they doing in America? So we can incorporate that so we can be competitive. Scoring, statistician. These are all aspects of the games. Referee trainings, because now you don't want it to be a case where you're not ensuring that these associations are up to date with these things, and now you're training all of these junior players. There's no way a junior player should bypass your referees that you have.
Right.
So it shouldn't be lopsided. We all should grow together.
Right.
Once we work together, once everyone is empowered now, that makes your national team selection so much easier. So instead of having 50 people show up,
Right.
if you are, let's say, the leader of the association, you were trained by our people. We can vouch for you.
Right.
So if you say, oh, I have 10 people, but I feel like 4 of them really could make it, then I could now go on your word.
Right.
So
Right.
that makes my work easier, so I don't have to go to this island, that island, this island. And
Got you.
we pool that together, and now we can truly select the best from all islands throughout the Bahamas.
Now is that some of the things persons can learn from reading your book, or is that something you learned personal experience?
Well, it's personal experience. Like I said, I've been playing on a national team since I was 14.
Nice, girl.
Yeah. I literally just turned 14. I participated in one of the the last Bahamas games before that 20-plus year gap.
Right, yeah.
So that was my first junior national team. And in reference to the book, it speaks about how we can harness and develop these kids so we can have a proper feeder system for our junior program, so we can invest in sports tourism. And not to say that we're not talking about the adults, but the future is the youth.
Right.
If we
100%.
do, correct, if we do what we're supposed to do, we can always continue to fill that gap. We have on our agenda for quite some time now a Golden League, where that's catered to anybody who is 50 and up. We want
Yeah.
to do a team for men and women, because you have a lot of former volleyball players here.
Yeah.
So it's not a case where we say, oh no, do away.
Yeah. They still got it in them, and if they want, come out there and do a little thing.
But of course, but I'm like almost right there. So,
Yeah, that's why you push it very.
so I'm close to the day too. So, you
Right.
know, just to be involved and stay active, you know, something to limit the amount of exercise that I have to do. If I could go and shoot on Saturdays, because I
Right.
shoot as well. I do that on a Saturday. I go to the gym. We practice and play in the league. I don't have to work as hard getting them going to the gym.
Right.
Because that's
Just
my
to work
physical
out.
activity. Yes, that's
Right.
my physical activity there.
Matter of fact, I tell females that all the time. Females who have a hard time getting into gymming and working out. It's like, boy, pick up a sport. A sport, it's competitive, it's fun. You're doing it in a group anyway. So that's what keeps you motivated and kind of accountable, because the team needs you to play, whether it's flag,
Correct.
volleyball, basketball, baseball. The team needs you, they need the numbers, and they can push you to stay in shape and come out to
yes.
practice. So that's a really good point that you mentioned. What I really wanted to get into just now is, do we have an Olympic team that is good for volleyball?
We currently don't. You have to qualify.
And what's that process like, if you do know? I think you do.
So we have the Caribbean Volleyball Championships.
Okay.
So once you would have won that, then you would move on to NASECA. So same thing as it was with basketball.
Yeah,
You have to win or
right.
place in order to move to the next level.
Right.
But I honestly feel as if it can be done.
Right.
Because since I was 14, my goal was to play for the Bahamas in
Olympic
Olympics. Now,
team.
of course, that never happened. I think we have some work to do. But of course, all things are possible through
Yeah.
Christ. But once we have like-minded people who are willing to work, sky is the limit.
Definitely. I feel like, especially with you at the helm, because I know how passionate you are about volleyball. If it's ever volleyball come to mind, you come to my mind, Whitney, and then Tempest Stubbs has come to my mind. You are two people who I know love volleyball. You all been playing volleyball from I even meet you all day one. You all been volleyball people. So
my
with
good
that,
teammate.
yes. So with that being said, and having seen the way volleyball has changed over the years, what would you say was a pivotal moment when volleyball, I guess, started to? Because I remember volleyball used to be a big thing, almost like how basketball was much bigger than it is right now in Grand Bahama. What was the thing that started like a decline in it, in your opinion?
I would say just giving back. That's the first thing, giving back. And honestly, for the past, I became president in 2023.
Okay.
But for the past 5 years, there was a lull period, and it isn't to say you didn't do this or you didn't do that. We had a pandemic. You can't control that.
Yeah.
Then we had Dorian.
Can't
you
control
can't
that either.
control that. So for me being so passionate about the sport, you know, I just couldn't sit down and be here and not see volleyball going on. But the key thing was when I was growing up, we had international teams that used to come over.
Yeah.
I specifically remembered crying, snorting up because Daddy Doors didn't take me to Baltimore with them.
Okay.
They used to just go over to Florida and all kind of other places for tournaments. So one of the key things I said once I come into this presidency, I need to have a tournament. We need to make sure we have a gym and we need to travel. Now that hasn't happened yet, you know, small steps.
Yeah.
And we are literally in the rebuilding stage. We started from the ground up. So we are now working on the foundation, but honestly, I'm pleased with where we are. We had 3 successful Battle of the Islands tournaments.
Love that.
We have more than a handful of kids who can go out and try out for the junior national team. And the vast majority of them will make the team. We had a
Okay.
junior player, Shantia Grant.
Yes.
She went off to UB, the young lady, freshman of the year last year, and
Yes.
she's excited about her sophomore year. She just sent me photos this year, and of course I blasted it in the group. So this is what it's about.
Right.
And when she first started, she was very shy and nervous, and I was like, you do these things, but you don't understand,
Right.
you know, the impact of it. Because she sent me this thing, oh, I was always nervous, and, you know, you used to tell me I could do it, and I didn't see it then, but I see it now.
Right.
So, you know, that's just the motivation to say, okay, well, hey, let's make this happen, because we're not doing it for us.
Right.
Look at this CBC. We had
Yeah.
2 grand behemoths on the team.
Yeah.
Of course, my sister Leandria Armbrister Johnson,
Yes.
Johnson
Married
now.
woman.
and we had Zaria Rose.
Yes.
They are grand bohemians.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't speak for the quality and the potential that we have, I mean, come on.
I love that. So, and I'm happy that you mentioned collegiate as well, because for the parents and young people who are watching, are there futures for collegiate scholarships and opportunities as it relates to volleyball for Grand Bahamian children and students?
It most definitely is. The feelers have been out. We have, of course, the University of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
We also have Edric Poitier, who would have came over. First summer camp that we did, he brought some of his players over from Bowie State University.
Love it.
Correct. So in contact with him,
That's
and
a big
also,
school.
yes.
Bowie is a big school.
And my college coach, Reginald Isley, you know,
Yes.
I've been speaking to him, but he is more so, because I showed him some videos of a few of the kids. We had Zachary Butler, we had Kamani Lang, we have Dufay. He recently graduated from BMES, and these are persons' names who I would have put out there, but he is more so interested in them coming over.
Okay.
But the conversation has already happened.
Right.
Right now, I'm ready to get them to the Bahamas, but that's more difficult. So we're in the process of trying to see how we could put a little tour together so they could now travel and just leave it on the court. Because we can only take them so far.
That's very, very true. And earlier you mentioned when it comes to sponsorships and like the volunteering and the involvement of the community. We're going to get into that, and we're really going to talk about, after we take this commercial break, the dip in philanthropy and the dip in sponsorship, especially from the corporate level, that a lot of sports are experiencing post-story and post-pandemic, and what is needed to kind of jumpstart them back into where they were before the storm and everything. But we're going to take this quick commercial break, and then we're going to dive into that conversation.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat,
And I'm your boy Mix.
and we're representing Off the Bench, the #1 talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
In the world, my boy.
My bad partner. So
Yeah.
we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in. That's every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6 o'clock p.m. Sharp.
The #1 talk show
In the world.
in the world.
Craig.
We are back here at Islandish Podcast here on Superior Talk Network. And before we move on with this conversation, we are going to remind you to make sure, comment, like, and subscribe to Superior Talk. Hit the button below, hit the notification bell so you can know when we have new episodes out of this podcast and all of the other podcasts on this network. Make sure to follow Islandish242 on all of your social media. We will definitely put you in contact with Miss Whitney Armbrister and everything related to Grand Bahama Volleyball Association. Now, back to the conversation, girl. We were talking about the philanthropic side of Grand Bahama and how there was a decline since before Dorian to now when it comes to corporate sponsorships and things like that. What kind of sponsors do you remember or type of support from the community that used to be in volleyball that isn't anymore or as few?
Well, honestly, from the player aspect, I can't really speak for the past, but today's state, corporate Grand Bahama, they have been good to us.
Okay, that's great.
We tried to make it bearable. So for us personally, once we would have sent letters out, we had a package system. So you could be a bronze level sponsor, a silver, a gold, or platinum. So of course, you have different perks, free entry. Our biggest one, which would be the platinum, you would be the sponsor, the marquee for our Battle of the Islands tournament. So let's say, for example, just throwing this out there for live, wanted to sponsor on the platinum scene, they could come, they could set up. The tournament is named after them. They have ample amount of tickets. Once we have the league, once we know who you are, you're coming, all of that comes with your package. So it really worked for us. And honestly, because we were doing such a great work with the juniors, we had one or two persons that said, well, I really can't afford this right now, but take this $200, take this, and it really helped.
Yeah.
Because we started with nothing. We were able to get 2 outdoor courts. We were able to get balls. And just from outside of the corporate, we had persons, Miss Lange even gave us a bag full of knee pads that we were able to give to the kids. Of course, free. Once they came to the summer camp, we have different skills. You may put a knee pad here on the court. If you serve to it, then you get to keep it, So pretty much the world is a cycle.
Yeah.
So persons would have given back to me for me to be here. Persons instilled in my development. So the least I can do is pay it forward.
I love that. That's it. Paying it forward. And I feel like that's one of the things you're also doing with your book. You're giving almost, I wouldn't say free, but very affordable advice on how to, like you say, deal with the business side of the sport. And I love the fact that you're touching on it because a lot of times it does go neglected. And then that's what leads to a lot of federations and associations not getting funding because they're technically not doing good business. So not to give them too much from the book, but tell them about maybe 2 things you mentioned that is very important as it relates to sports business. Or 1. Tell them 1.
Well, I'll just throw some words out there.
Okay, great.
The first one is communication. Communication is key in every ship. So we need to communicate effectively. We need to be accountable. We need to be respectful and we need to maintain. Because it's nice when we first get started and everybody has that fire.
Right.
But after a time, that can kind of
die down. You're
yeah,
very right.
So
burnout. That's what it's called.
So consistency and communication. If you to the point where listen, I think we're meeting too much. You're a little tired. We have too many things on this agenda. Just say because the likelihood is you are not the only person that's feeling that way.
Right.
And this is why me personally, I'm not saying I want to bully, but I don't want a yes person.
Right. Right.
But once we come to the board, not because I suggest this, we should do this. No, you might see it a different way. So let's talk about it. Maybe we do need to pull back. Maybe we do need to thrust forward so we could be more proactive and productive.
I like that you mentioned that because, and I think that's the thing that a lot of persons who run organizations, whether it's dealing with kids, sports, community service, civic groups, a lot of persons can resonate with that burnt out feeling. And they don't want to be the person in the group who speaks up and be like, "Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I just be here more than I just be home. I tired. We can't limit this to a few weeks." But I'm happy that you did mention that because that's an honest opinion. And that's something that happens a lot of times it's a lot of thankless work being done in this community.
This is true.
Especially as it relates to our young people and sports. And I even remember thinking back to the YMCA. You probably could think about them days when used to be a lot of adults running up and down there doing a lot of free work that now our generation is falling in our lap to do because they've either gotten older, they've passed away, or they've retired. So as it relates to that, what is the thing other than the love for the sport that keeps you motivated to work with the Grand Bahama Volleyball Association? Other than loving volleyball, you can't say that. Say something else other than that.
Honestly, it's just the community, the camaraderie, and the kids.
Ah, yes.
And of course, the kids would always be the core of that. But I promise you, I was a little teeny bopper when I went to that last Bahamas Games in 2001. And just to see some of the same people, it was like, oh. And you got to socialize and you met new people. So for me, that's where the joy comes in. We're doing it for a purpose. And it brought back unity. So this is why I'm excited about the upcoming Grand Bahama Games.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be playing everything at the Bahamas Games. I think I still have some fight in me, but I think I might try it for softball and volleyball for sure, just to, be a part of that and give back.
When is that going to be, by the way, if you know?
It begins November 3rd to 7th. It starts off with volleyball.
Okay. So what all sports? They doing flag football too?
No, they're doing 5, if I remember correctly. It's volleyball, basketball, softball, track and field. And I honestly am not sure what the 5th one is. But Mr.
That either
Chairman,
gonna be soccer or swimming.
Yeah, it might be soccer.
I think it's probably soccer.
But I honestly do not recall.
It better be soccer.
But it's
As a
going to
big
be 5
soccer girl.
sports.
It
Really?
doesn't- What?
I did not know that.
What? Wait, Coach Mary? It's my dog. It's my ace in the hood. Coach Mary, love you to death. I grew up in that program, especially the one they have at the YMCA.
Okay.
And the reason why I like to talk to, especially persons like yourself who work with young people and in sports, because I talk to people who deal in sports, who deal in pageantry, but most of all of y'all deal with young people. And I remember how big sports was for me too. Sports helped me when it comes to working in a team and in a group. Because I started out playing soccer and then I was also playing tennis growing up. Tennis is a one-woman sport. That's me. If I lose by myself. I can only blame myself. If I win, it's all the glory for me. I win. But in a team sport, it ain't just up to you.
Correct.
And if you throw a tantrum or you do something wrong, it's a team. You know, they might blame you a little bit, but for the most part, it's like, no, I should have communicated with you better, or you didn't understand what's going on, or we didn't teach you this routine properly. It's always something where the whole team could still be accountable. So what are some advices you would give parents when it comes to young people who are gifted in sports?
I would say, honestly, listen. Why listen? I've been coaching for over 20 years. And it's sad because I've seen persons who, they're the best at soccer. They could get a full scholarship or a partial scholarship for soccer, but then it's a constant back and forth. Maybe a coach wants you to do softball, or your coach wants you to do track, and your child is telling you, hey, this is what I want, but you're listening to the coach. Or because it's basketball and it's what you want. But we need to be realistic. Once you're in primary school, you could try all the sports. You can go to all of the summer camps. In junior school,
Narrow it down.
we need to start narrowing it down. And we need to be real with our kids. You might want to play basketball, but if you to the basketball game and you're always coming off the bench, you could show up at the game and go to practices. But if you're more consistent at golf, badminton, basketball, I think that's where you should channel that energy. Because the reality is not every Bahamian can afford college.
Yeah.
Not everyone will get a scholarship. And even when we go off to college, we need to stop selling these kids a dream. You're not an athlete. You are a student athlete. That comes first. So if you're not in the books, if you're not getting the grades, now, not everyone might be the top of the class, but if you're making an effort, if it's track, if you're running the time, if it's volleyball, if you have the stats, baseball, softball, then you're going to get that look.
Right.
So those things go hand in hand. So listen to your kids and be realistic with them because they're just kids.
Yeah.
They probably, all of my friends playing basketball, I don't play basketball. But if you just set this record and you 2 strokes underneath the Grifter qualifying swim time,
Right.
I'm not pushing you to go to basketball to be 6, 7, 8 off the bench. So
Right.
we have to be realistic.
Yeah. I'm happy that you said that too, because that is a hard conversation, especially when your children a certain age and they throw in tantrums. But you're very correct. As parents, it's like you listen to them, but then you also have to lead them in the right direction. They'll thank you later.
Correct.
They'll be mad now, but they'll be happy later when they get drafted or whatever. So that's amazing. Now, as we start to wrap things up with your book and with your book event coming up, hopefully in November, and with you having it on sale and different things like that, is there anything the Volleyball Association have coming up this year, or how your year is run anyway? Is run year to year, or is run this month to this month?
Well, the league opens officially October 30th.
Okay.
So we normally would end in, let's say, March.
Okay.
But we have a new team coming in, so that might affect it. So that is because, of course, you have the Northern High School Championships of volleyball. That's here.
Okay.
So, the gym is only one in Freeport. Now we currently have access to 8 Mile Rock Gym that is up and running. But the issue is we can't have a league when we have the high school games or anything else volleyball related because our association members, 9 times out of 10, they're the scorers.
Yeah.
Or they're the referees.
They work in the door, they doing something.
Yeah, so
right?
that kind of pushes that schedule back.
Okay. Understandable. And that's me the thing. That's the thing I love but hate about Freeport. Freeport people are so talented. If you was ref one sport, more likely you ref in all. If you was do stats for one, you can end up doing stats for all because we're so close-knit when it comes to sports.
Correct.
And we try to help out as much as possible. Like, you ain't got no one to do stats. All right, I come in. I just can be there. And I love that attitude about us. And I wish we could plant more of us and grow a whole field.
Well, we actually are.
Okay, tell me
We
more.
have linesman and scorers training that's going to be October 25th.
Y'all hear that?
Yes, October 25th, linesman and scorers training. So it is for anyone who would like to learn how to call the lines and who would love to score.
Okay.
Now, our key thing is we would have a lot of kids who would come out and they want to call the lines, but they don't really know.
Right.
So what we'll do is we will teach them all of the hand signals. They will learn how to use the flag, and in turn, they will get a certificate from us. And whenever there's anything volleyball related going on, because it is a requirement for you to have community service when you graduate.
Right.
If they come out there and they do any of those, they now would get the community service hours, and it's also going to look good on their resume as having experience for the linesman, or you could watch a volleyball game and you know how to score on the official paper. So we just did a course before the Caribbean Volleyball Championships.
Okay.
My secretary, Mr. Charlene Hamilton, so she has actually been newly trained in statistician, and the scoring is now electronic on the computer.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was trained in the scoring. So we won't be teaching them the computer, but we will be teaching them how to do it on the paper. Because the computer is very easy. So who knows, these are the very kids. They're going to go off to school in America.
Yeah.
They can now get compensation or grow in the sport of volleyball. They could come back as certified referees, certified
Love it.
scorers. 2 weeks after we did that training, Hamilton went to Trinidad and she did the statisticians for that. So the opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
I mean, all she had to do was show up.
Is there a
paid for
cost or anything to come?
They paid for it.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, but for our training, everything is free.
Love it.
We're all about giving back and empowering because this is how the sport grows.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain things we might have to charge for because we need equipment and stuff, but we're trying to grow and develop.
Yeah.
For me, it's not always about the funds. That will come if you're doing what you're supposed to do. 9 times out of 10, you don't even have to ask for it.
Right.
We have some volleyballs. These are official molten volleyballs. The Grand Bahama Volleyball Association, we never purchased one molten volleyball since we started.
Wow.
They were all donated to us.
Love that.
We were in the YMCA. The scoreboard wasn't working. We have a scoreboard. electric scoreboard. We never purchased that. And that's
Yeah.
because persons see what we're doing and they see the product. They
Yeah.
see the results. So if you're doing what you're supposed to do, these things are just going to come.
Yeah. I love that you said that. It's almost like my saying, if you build it, they will come. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, good things are bound to happen. This has been an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
This has been an amazing talk. You are doing the Lord's work, my girl. I am so proud of you. I know you're going to do much more great things. Make sure you guys get a copy of her book. Let them know where it's located again. You said Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You say Google Play Store
and iTunes.
and iTunes.
That's for the ebook.
Yes, and it's also going to be available in stores at our local bookstores here in Grand Bahama.
Correct. So once the press release is official, I am going to have them in the stores, and then it's going to be official book signing. So I'll do a little reading. You could come and you could get your signed book,
Yes.
have some light refreshments.
Yes, I'm definitely going to be to that book signing, so this is going to be a thing. So make sure you guys come on out. I'm definitely going to read this book because my boyfriend of this whole flag football youth league thing he doing. And for some reason, I feel like, yeah, I got to learn how to do it too. So I need to understand the business side of it. So I think you're the perfect person to teach me. Thank you again so much for being here. This has been a pleasure having you. Make sure you guys are supporting the Grand Bahama Volleyball Association. Their league is about to kick off end of this month. So make sure you guys are coming out and supporting and continue to do great things. Thank you all for watching this episode. This has been Islandish Podcast right here only on Superior Talk Network. We will see you all next time. Peace out.
Bye.